Hello, I'm Streaky, this is Metropolis Mastering. Today I'm going to give you my view on the Loudness wars. I was having another conversation again with somebody today about the Loudness wars. Now seems to be everyone's favourite subject when it comes to mastering. So I thought I would just do my kind of roundup on how I think it is and what it is. Now, I personally don't have any issue with things being loud. I think things should be loud. There's some music that suits it, there's some music that doesn't suit it. If you're doing house music, then it needs to be slamming. If you're doing like psytrance or something like that, then it needs to be super crushed and like mental. Sometimes you can't even get it that loud. Most of the time I'm putting things to a certain level, which is usually plus 10 dBu. So it's like, so that I know where I'm going. I know that when it goes out, it's going to be at a similar level to everyone else's. Now, the whole reason why the Loudness wars came about was because a bit of a history lesson. You never used to use, there's like limiters here. You never used to really use them as a tool to get things louder. You used to use them just because you wanted to shave the peaks off the top, because when you used to make a tape called a pneumatic tape, when I first started in the sort of 90s, and these tapes had a report on them, and if anything went over the meter, over the tops of the digital meters, over 0 peak meters, then it would throw an error out on this report. And if you sent off the master tape with an error on the report, then it would get sent back, rejected, Sony didn't like it, so you couldn't press any CDs. So you always used to put an end limiter on just to stop it popping over. Now, so everyone was kind of mastering up to that level. And then you got to the point when you'd put like, say, -1 on just to pump it up a little bit, but you didn't really do too much. So it was kind of just to make sure that it got through the factory. And then when people started getting plugins at home, then they started realizing, okay, well, I can master this myself. So they were just slamming things through a limiter. So then everyone goes, oh, we want it a bit louder. So everybody starts to push it a bit. No one really knows what they're doing at this point, because you've only used the limiter just to shave off the peaks. You haven't used it as a kind of compressor and as a tool. So then basically everybody then starts crushing everything to death, not knowing how to get things loud properly. That's the difference between good mastering and bad mastering, and that is still the way today. So if you're a good mastering engineer, you know how to get things super loud, but still make them sound dynamic and still make them sound nice. But if you're a bad mastering engineer and you're just slamming things through a limiter, and you know, like mix engineers do sometimes just to get it to an A&R man, then you know that's not mastering really. That's just getting something loud through a limiter. I mean, anyone's grand could do that. But you know, it's about listening to the type of music, realizing how loud it needs to be. Orchestral style, I do a lot of orchestral and film work. That doesn't need to be over loud, and that can have loads of dynamic range. So you wouldn't necessarily slam limiters on that and push it through the desk harder and things. But then for pop music you would, because that is the sound of now. If you heard something that didn't have a limiter across it and something that did, I personally think that you would want it with the limited version, even if it was lower in level, because it's just part of the sound, and that's part of the sound of today's music. So if you haven't got that, it just sounds a little bit weird. So I don't really think there is a loudness war. I just think that it's just people didn't know at one point, between people not using limiters and then people using them as a tool to bang a load of level on. There was this period in between where no one really knew what was going on, and that's where it created sort of everyone moaning that there was this loudness war. So I hope that's kind of explained my thoughts on it. Thanks for watching. Please leave some comments, and please subscribe.